Delegations from Iran and the U.S. have finished a fifth round of nuclear talks in Rome, mediated by Oman. The Omani foreign minister says the two sides made some progress. He said the proposals will be reviewed by both governments and another round will be scheduled accordingly. U.S. President Donald Trump wants to limit Tehran's potential to produce nuclear weapons, and Iran is hoping to have sanctions lifted. Trump has threatened military strikes on Iran if a deal is not reached. After the talks, Iranian Foreign Minister Adebahr said there was potential for progress.
I hope that in the next one or two sessions, given the improved understanding that now exists regarding the positions of the Islamic Republic, that we can arrive at solutions that allow for progress in the negotiations. We're not at that point yet, but we are not without hope either.
Cornelius Adebahr from the German Council of Foreign Relations joins us now from Bonn in Germany. So still no breakthrough, Cornelius, between the U.S. and Iran. What are the stumbling blocks?
Well, the main stumbling block appears to be the question of uranium enrichment, which is a dual-use capacity. So you need enriched uranium for a civilian nuclear energy program, for a civilian nuclear reactor, as much as you can use enriched uranium for a nuclear weapons program. And since this kind of facility resides inside Iran, Iran is using it for the one nuclear reactor that it has, but it can also be used, and the world's fear is that Iran may use it one day in order to acquire a nuclear weapon. And here the positions are still very much apart. Iran insists on its right to enrich uranium, which is something that other states around the world also do if they have a nuclear program. But the United States, President Trump and some other countries, they insist that Iran must give up this capacity entirely. And that appears to be a red line for Iran at the moment.
So there are dual uses for uranium, of course. Talk specifically about Iran. Why is it so important for Iran to enrich uranium?
Well, it's a symbol of national pride, one can say, precisely because this is a capacity that Iran acquired over the past decades, and it acquired autonomously. Well, there was some help from Pakistan at the very beginning, selling designs for centrifuges to Iran. But other than that, because Iran has been sidelined by the international community for decades, because it had been put under sanctions, especially by the United States, it had to acquire this capacity, this knowledge, this scientific achievement in adversity, so to say. And so this is, for many Iranians, it is, and here I'm speaking about public opinion also, it is something that they ought never to give up because it shows the prowess, if you like, of Iranian nuclear scientists, regardless of the use to which it is eventually put. So here, when the foreign minister says this is a no-go for us, it's really, he's speaking for many Iranians inside the country.
I want to dig a little deeper to something that you just said a moment ago. You said that, of course, there are other countries that enrich uranium as part of a civilian nuclear energy program, but don't use it for weapons. So why does the U.S. and other countries, for that matter, as you mentioned, not trust Iran? What is it about Iran that makes people doubtful, skeptical?
Yeah, well, there's two things or two sides I would like to say. For one, most obviously, the nature of the Islamic Republic isn't really engendering much confidence into other states, especially Western or democratic states. So it's the internal repression, the awful human rights record. It's the antagony that the regime is celebrating vis-à-vis the West. It's the enmity which is enmeshed in the Islamic Republic system with Israel. So all these things make Iran a very difficult actor to deal with. And just the thought that this regime would have a nuclear weapon is unbearable to many around the world. But at the same time, the whole nuclear file, as many people call it, has also been kept alive, if I can say, over decades. We did have an agreement with Iran to limit its nuclear program since 2015, the nuclear deal, as it was called, which is an agreement that President Trump ripped apart in his first term. So we wouldn't be in today's situation. Instead, we would be in a situation where Iran would have a very limited, very much controlled nuclear program, civilian nuclear program, with no chance of developing a nuclear weapon anytime soon. We would be in this situation hadn't the United States torn up the agreement.
That's Cornelius Adebahr from the German Council of Foreign Relations. Thanks so much.